Hey guys, what's up? So just got done the World Series. Obviously, it was a slugfest. I hope everyone enjoyed watching it as much as I did. One of the things that I kind of want to point out with a lot of Major League Baseball starting to really flow towards talking about launch angle, exit velocity. There's going to be a lot of parents and high school kids, college kids that are kind of floating around the internet looking for. Um, looking for what the right path is as far as the swing is concerned. So I thought I'd make this video to kind of help you sift through, what's good, what's bad, um, and really just kind of help you develop your own plan and how to deal with this stuff. So, um, you know, if you look on the internet, some people are starting to say some really smart stuff with regard to hitting, which is awesome. That's just good for the game of baseball, and that's really something that I've been trying to push for the last 3 years. There's been people that have been doing it for longer than me, but really that's just a product of my age. I'm 27, so before that I was basically in college or working as a chemist. But long story short, I think the most important thing for you guys to understand is that once you determine that someone is saying smart stuff with regard to the swing, you want to try to figure out what path that they would lay out for you and how they would teach you, and then you have to decide whether that path is something that makes a ton of sense to you or if it's a path that doesn't make a ton of sense to you. Because if this whole thing is going to work, you have to commit to a movement routine. So every day for 10 or 15 minutes, you have to do certain things in order for your pattern to be the same every single time when you walk into the box. That's the most important thing, is that when you walk into the box, you know your swing, so you can predict when you should start your swing, when you should start your step, all of these things. And the only way to really do that is to just work on your movement pattern all the time. The mistake that a lot of hitters make, and also I think a mistake that a lot of coaches make, is that I don't want to say prescribe like a doctor, but they tell their hitters that they should hit a lot more than they should. Hitting really is only valuable when movement is good. If movement's not good, then hitting is just drilling in all of the bad patterns that you had previously. So it's really important to make sure that you stick to a movement routine and you're doing that all the time. And if you're able to do that and really stay committed to that, then you're going to be successful. But you've also got to believe. So when we look at these major league hitters like Josh Donaldson, right? He clearly has a movement routine. He has some things that he's always working on, and he's consistent with that. And he kind of has, his approach to not to hitting, not oh, I'm trying to hit the ball the other way or hit the ball on the ground. That's not what I mean at all. What I mean is that he has an approach to the movement that he's making. So a lot of times when hitters or when coaches talk about approach, they're talking about okay, these are the pitches that I'm good at hitting. These are the pitches, that I'm looking for and that I think that I can do damage with, which is important as well. But what I'm talking about is an approach to the way that you're moving your body. Why are you moving your body in a certain way? What goal does that accomplish? And how do we translate that movement and put it into your game swing? So that's one of the things that Donaldson does really, really well. But I'm going to kind of use a little bit of a contrast. Trout, an amazing hitter as well. He does a lot of similar things to Donaldson, meaning that when he swings, he drops his back shoulder and really turns his shoulder through the ball really, really well. Probably better than anyone in the big leagues, and obviously he's one of the best players in the big leagues as well. But the thing with Trout is that he's been quoted many times saying that he's trying to just go the other way and stay really, really short to the ball, which basically means that he's swinging down. So he thinks that he's being very, very direct to the ball. When we really when we look at his swing, we see him doing this a tremendous amount. I just did a video about that a couple weeks ago, so if you want to go back and look at that, you're welcome to. But long story short, so Donaldson kind of has an approach to his movement, right? And he knows exactly what it is he's trying to do. Trout knows exactly what it is he's trying to do as well. He actually doesn't accomplish that in his game swing, but he believes that what he's working on is the right thing, like with all of his heart. So the thing that's kind of missing in like what Trout's doing is that what he thinks he's accomplishing in his practice is not actually what he's doing in the game, but because he believes so much in his practice, it translates to the game really well. And he's incredibly athletic. That said, it's important to understand that the common denominator in the two of those cases is the belief. So if whatever a coach is telling you, they can't, communicate it in such a way that you can actually believe in what you're doing and believe in not just the, oh, okay, like this will work, but also believe in the why you're doing it. If you can't bridge that gap, then it's really hard to sell yourself anything. And the doubt that you will have in your mind when you're trying to practice will really just be counterproductive and will cripple, your development. So it's really important that when you're looking for the right thing, that regardless of anything, you've got to know that if you don't believe in it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I, told you the secret to the hitting universe. It does not matter if you don't believe in the secret to the hitting universe. So ask questions, dig deep, understand what, you're looking for, and make your coach or whoever you're talking to about it, make them, level with you and explain to you, why you're doing what you're doing, not just we're just going to do this because that's what we see the best doing. I started that way. I think everybody starts that way. So there's no harm in that, right? Like you kind of start off teaching as, hey, my coach told me this, so that's what we should do. So you start doing that, and I'll kind of tell you about my path. So you start doing this is what my coach told me to do. I teach that for a minute, realize that none of my guys are getting better. And some people don't even make it out of that stage. Some people just keep doing that, which is crazy to me. I don't know how you could be in that stage and not realize that the people that you're working with aren't getting better. So anyways, what happened to me was, a couple weeks in doing that stuff, I realized it didn't work. I didn't know why, but I was like, okay, well, I got to figure out something different. So I started looking at big league guys and was like, okay, well, these guys are, swinging like up, they're getting their bat in the way. So like, that's what I'll teach. And then I just kind of kept being like, okay, well, this guy does this, so you should do this too, which is a very it's not a bad argument. If you're good and you do something, then it's not a bad idea for, you to teach that. That said, I didn't really understand the why that anyone was really doing anything until much later, and it took me a long time to be able to develop that. But as a coach, I feel like anyway, it's my responsibility to know those things. So that way, if someone's having a problem, you can't just be like, oh, well, I want you to look like Gary Sanchez or Dustin Pedroia or, Jose Altuve. Like, it's not just about like being like, oh, like I'm going to make you look like this person. It's like, okay, well, like this person, like we're using this component of the swing because it helps you with timing in this way. And we're using this component of the swing because it helps you with your ability to turn your barrel in the way deep. And, if one of those things is messed up, you need to be able to know which one to fix in order to, get your swing running right or your car running right or whatever. So keep that in mind when you're kind of sifting through this stuff. I hope this, helps you out a little bit. Feel free to give me a shout if you have any questions.